Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Today what we're going to do is a little bit of something like that pearl ring, except there's going to be some extra steps in here that'll be a little bit different. So those are the kind of steps that I'm going to really want to show off. So let's go to Tools, let's grab a ring rail, and let's hit Enter. Let's go to Gems, and let's put a gem on that ring rail, and we'll go over here and just to change it up a little, just to give something different here. And we'll just go with this size here and hit Enter. And we'll go to offset, and we'll just kind of offset this just a little for right now, and then hit Enter. And we'll go and actually let's take that offset curve, keep everything parametric, and we'll drop it down just a little, somewhere around there. Just drop it down below because we're going to manipulate that later anyway. So we'll hit Enter. Now we'll go ahead and slap a head on this thing so we can kind of see what's going on with it. And let's go ahead into shaded so we can get a good look at everything. And the first thing I want to do is I want to take that rail count down to 1. And then I want to bring the... I grabbed something wrong there. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that, and we'll just right click, bring it back for right now. Don't select any of these things. We want the overall height, and just bring it up. And of course that rail count we want to 1. And we'll take that prong height and bring it down. You probably want to leave it up a little high if you're going to print it, but for render you probably want to drop it down. Let's go to that X right here, and we'll bend it in just a little, something like this, and we'll go ahead and drag that up some. And I'll go ahead over here to my rail profile, and we'll just change that. It doesn't matter, you can change it to any you want. You can leave it the way it was, that's fine too. And the last thing I'll do is I think I'm going to want to manipulate that bottom rail there just a little. I think I don't need it so heavy here, 1 millimeter. I'm going to take it out to about 7.5, 7.0, something like that. My height around the same thing. 7.85 is fine. And then I'll drag that up just a little, not there. Go back to my number 1 and bring it up just a little. There we go. All right, so something like that, and we'll cut it out, so no big deal. Give it a nice little seat there, nice, so it'll be nice and tight. And we'll just go ahead and yeah, we'll go ahead and take that. Now we'll go out here to this ring profile here, or offset curve, and we'll go to our tools, and we'll just grab a profile, and we'll snap a profile. And the first thing we want to do is swing that around to 90 degrees perpendicular from our curve there. And we're going to go ahead and change that. This will be the inside of our rail for the gemstones to cut into. And we'll make that maybe a 0.8, and we'll take this down to maybe around 1.2. And I'm going to go ahead and activate auto sweep so I can get a good look, see what's going on here. And I can see that we're a little high there for what I want, so I'm going to go ahead. You can move the offset curve, or you can just drag it down. It's totally up to you. And I'm going to drag that in because I want that prong coming right out from that corner there, like that. I want it nice and tight, so I don't have a lot of gappage inside there. So right, so something like that should be fine. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe make that just a little bit thinner there, 1 point, something like that here. And we'll go ahead and accept that. Now I'll go back to my gem and go back to my gems ribbon and do another offset. And this one we're going to want to offset quite a bit, not hugely, but out there, depending on what size stones you want to put on it. And then we'll just go ahead and drag that down around our ledge there, and then hit Enter, and we'll just grab that, go to gems on rail, and what we're going to do is swing this, just the inside around, or the end around, and we'll go ahead and not roll. Spacing, we'll tighten it up, and then we'll make those stones a little bit bigger. And we want to try and keep everything as close as possible. I mean, all even, right? And let's see. So they're not in, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that. I'm going to go back to my rail there, offset curve, and I'm going to just drag that in just a little. I'm kind of watching here, and then drag it in just a little. So now my stones are cut right in there, right? And I need to make sure that those stones are all lined up, and it looks like they are. So we should be good. And now just for show here, it kind of goes up a little high, really, actually. So let's go back and grab that rail one more time, the offset curve. And let's go back and manipulate it just a little. And kind of, I'd like a little extra room there. So I'm going to drag those down a little. Something like that. All right, enter. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that offset curve. You don't have to do this. This is just something that gives you a little bit more manipulation with everything on the gems. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and I'm going to make a copy of that, right? And then I'm going to hold down Shift and go to my checkerboard there and bring in and break history, right? And then what I'm going to do is go back to my gems, edit them. And then for the target object, I'm going to select that rail there. And now everything will go to that rail. So let's go ahead and hit enter. Now if I select that rail, I can come up here. I can come up here and manipulate this any way I want, and it'll follow those that rail. So that'll be my curve. So I can change the angle of it very, very quickly, very easily to get any kind of, if I want them straight out or something, you know, you can keep on playing around with it, have them straight. You know, you just have a lot more control and manipulation over it, I think. So, but we'll just go ahead and say that's good right there. Now I want to check my stone sizes again just to make sure, and they're 2.2, so I'll just go ahead and hit enter. Now we'll go to a gem, and we'll manipulate this gem down to the same size as that those stones up there, so we can get a good look at what's going on. 2.2, and then hit enter, and we'll go in here and grab that stone, and we'll go to settings, and we'll go to under bezel, and we're going to drag this down, and let's go in here so we can kind of see what's going on at the bottom there, and we'll open that up, and we will take that angle and make them a little shorter there, something like that. And then I don't like that dome, so we're just going to delete it, get rid of it, and then this angle here, we'll just take it straight down, and we will drag it up. So you can manipulate this however you want, right? It's totally up to you, of course. So let's go with something like this and hit enter. And now what we want to do is we want to take that under bezel and switch them up here to our stones. So we'll go to gems, orient to gem, base gem, this one, object to orient, this one here, and then we'll select these up here and hit enter, and it gives us all those, right? Now we can manipulate this more if you wanted to. Let's go ahead and accept it, and you can always go back and change it up however you want, so you can manipulate it even more, right? So we'll take it to about there and hit enter. That should be fine. Okay. And now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and grab our stones, and we'll go to settings and prongs. And the first thing we want to do is get those prongs down. So I'm going to go down here, prong depth, and I'm just going to type in negative 4.5 and hit enter. So it takes those prongs all the way down. And we'll swing it around here, and we'll do a little manipulation with the prongs, of course. We'll take that height up a little, and we will make those prongs thicker. So diameter, we'll just bump them up, and maybe we'll nudge it in just a little, something like that, right? And actually we'll just go ahead and take those up a little bit. If you're going to print it, you want them a little higher. If you're just going to render it, you probably want to drop them down. It's totally, you know, your deal. So something like that. Yeah. Okay. And we'll go ahead and accept that. And now what we want to do is grab those prongs. We want to ungroup them, and we want to go through here and select all those inside prongs because we don't need them. We're going to use that inside of that rail there to half channel set them inside that rail. So I'm holding down shift, going around, selecting all these inside prongs there, and we won't delete them. We'll change them to gray so we don't break history or anything like that. So we still have all our history, and if you go to change the ring rail, you should be able to, everything should update as you go so far, right? And actually, this is probably a great place to save it. So we'll just go ahead and job bag it. And probably want to do a full save, keep all the history and everything. All right, so we have this. Now what we want to do is we'll go to all perspectives, and we'll just kind of get our viewports in little shape here. All right, now let's go ahead and might as well get that outside ring rail that we want. So we'll go ahead and take that. I'll go to my library, and of course I'm going to change it to my favorite one. I'm going to bump this out to a 2.5 and drop this down to 2.5, and then this one we're going to drag it up so it kind of goes just underneath our under bezel, or what will be our under bezel, and then we'll just go ahead and accept that. All right, now what I'm going to do is go to my curves menu, and I'm going to right click on my line curve so I get both directions. I'm going to turn off O snaps. I'm going to turn on grid snaps, and I'm going to put it on a yellow. And wherever I want that, let's see, I have it at a 0.5. Okay, so man, let's take it to 0.25. And I want it maybe around here, and then I'll just hold down shift and bring that out, right? So it's something like that. Now I'm going to take this curve here, go to my parametric offset, and wait for it to pop up, and then I'm going to kind of just maybe 0.7, maybe 0.7 should be okay. You can make it a little thicker or thinner depending on whatever you want. And I'll just go ahead and say that's good. And now I'll go back to my line, click on my line, but down here I'll click on perpendicular, and then I'll click point. So it allows me to select that first point out in space, turn off my grid snaps, turn on my O snaps, with my end snap on, and then when I bring it down, it just automatically snaps it perpendicular there. I'll right click, go to perpendicular again, point, select there, and perpendicular there. Okay, now I'll take this curve here and I will split it with this one and hit enter, and then take that and delete it. Now I'm going to select all of this in here minus that profile in there. We don't want to mess with that, and join it together. And then I will go to my solids and extrude straight, and we will change it to both sides and just something like that. And I'll take that, switch it to my cutting layer. And we will go to Boolean difference. First surface will be all green, enter. Second surface will be our cutter, enter. And that'll be our cutout, and hit enter. And we'll just take that and turn it to gray to get rid of it, and take that, turn it to gray to get rid of it, and we'll just take all this and turn it to gray to get rid of it. And you're still should be totally parametric over here for the most part. Okay, and then let's go ahead and make that bottom cutout. So we'll go to cutters, we'll go to ring cutter, we'll select all our gray and all our purple and hit enter, and it'll drop it up to that. So we have that. So we have basically our top pretty close to being finished. Now there is some other things we'll do. We'll take this one and go ahead and get rid of it. And anything else yellow out here? Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that to gray. Okay, so now we just have our stones in our head up here, right? Now, this looks kind of weird, right? Because that shouldn't be like that. You know, we don't want those under bezels like that. We want to maybe do some work down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to dupe those curves right here. We're on yellow. Okay, so we'll go around and select all these circles, the top part, right? Just go around and grab each one of those, dupe those edges, not that edge, control, there, there, there. Okay, so we have all of them, and we'll hit enter. Now we'll go to, without deselecting them, right? We'll go to transform. We'll go to our top view here, and we will go and find our project to C plane, and we will hit yes, delete those originals. We broke history, no big deal. Okay, so we have them down at our C plane here, right? And what we're going to do now is just go ahead and take all this and just hide it. So we just want to deal with this part here. Okay. So what we'll do here is we'll go to our curves. We'll go all the way down to our end, edit tools, and we will select the curve boolean. And this will allow us to just pick the pieces we want, and we'll hit enter. And now we just click inside the pieces that we want to keep. So it'll be all these pieces inside here. Instead of going and splitting them and joining them and all that kind of fun stuff, we can just do this. It's a little bit easier. Okay, so we have that. We'll hit enter and enter. Well, just once. And there's our inside rail. And there's our outside rail. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab this outside rail here. We'll change that to red, and we'll grab our inside rail. Actually, we don't need it, so let's just go ahead and grab all yellow and delete it, and it should leave us our outside, which is the only thing we really want. And let's turn back, show everything again. Okay, so this is what we want, and we're going to drag it up so it's above our total under bezel there, right? And the first thing we want to do, maybe shade it, and it doesn't really matter. Let's go back. We want to grab that checkerboard again, hold down shift, and just kind of bring it in just a little. Something like, we can always manipulate that. Just kind of, we don't want it, yeah, that's looks pretty good. We're going to take that. We're going to go to solid right here and right here, planar straight. And this time we want one side, but one side, no, we'll take one side. And now what we're going to do is select that. We'll go to transform, and we will go to, where's it at? Bend. Where's our bend? Or taper? No, not twist. Taper. Yeah, there we go. And it'll give us that. And we'll take that bottom part. Now what we want to do is kind of watch our little circle for our prongs and just kind of bend that in until we can kind of see all those little circles, right? Something like that perhaps, and then hit enter. Now what we want to do is go back to our solids, Boolean difference. We'll select our green, hit enter, and then select this surface and hit enter. And maybe it worked. I don't know. We'll hit enter. Take this, hide it. Take this, hide it. Okay, I think I select the wrong one, so let's go back. Let's go back, and back, so it undoes our Boolean. This one we want to get rid of, sorry. This is the one we want it to split. So we'll go ahead and do the Boolean difference. We'll select all our green, enter, this, enter, and there we go, right? And as you can see, we have sharp edges there. So let's back out of that real quick, and let's take this and delete it. So what we want to do is grab that curve, right? And we want to go to our curves menu, and we'll just go ahead and fillet those edges so they won't be so sharp. Okay, so where's cleanup? Cleanup right here, and we'll clean up, we'll fillet corners. 0.2 should be fine. If you watch those corners, they'll round it up a little bit. Now we'll go back to our solid, extrude it down, and then go back and do our transform. Where's our taper at again? Taper. This, enter, and this bottom part. And it's kind of, like I said, again, just kind of keep an eye on those circles there. We want them just inside our circle. Something like this here should be fine. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. And we'll just take that straight one and we'll delete it. We'll keep the angled one or the tapered one, and we'll go back to our solids and do that Boolean difference again. First surface, our green, enter. This surface here, enter, and enter. And there you go. See, now we have a nice little rounded edge going around, and it looks much more like what it probably should be, right? So again, this might be a good place to job bag it. But let's go ahead and continue on. Let's go ahead and grab this rail here, and we'll go to our tools, and we'll go to profile placer. And it'll snap as a profile. Let's go to all perspectives. Let's drag that profile around somewhere around something like this. And then let's go to outside rail, this one here. Let's go ahead and mirror that. And we'll drag this one in so it's kind of inside our prongs there. And we want to go ahead and snap one down here at the bottom, holding down shift so it's centered. And we want to manipulate this one just a little bit, and I'm going to bump it out a little. And then we'll hit enter. And now what we'll do is we'll do that sweep 2, 1, 2, and we'll select this profile, and our profile over on this side, and hit enter. And take a look at it. Yeah, looks good. And now again, you can do the maintain height, maybe give it a little of better shape there. That actually helps the ring from spinning on people's fingers. It doesn't spin as much, but you can choose however you want to put it out there. We'll just go ahead and say this is cool, and we'll hit enter. And the last thing we need to do is, of course, we have those kind of holes there, but we don't want to cut anything. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take that. We'll take this and we will ungroup it, right? And now we'll take all, what we'll do is go to our front view, and we'll take all this here. And let's see, make sure I didn't grab anything I don't want. Holding down control, I'll get rid of this and get rid of this. We don't want to take any of that. Yeah. And then I'll turn this to, well, I'll hide this. Well, if I hide it, let's see. Oh, okay. This is what I want to keep. So let's go in here, take all this here, this, hold down shift, this, take all this up here. Let's go ahead and hide this. Let's grab all of this here. Let's hide that. Let's take this and hide that. The only thing I want out there is my bezels, under bezels for my stones, right? Because that's the only thing I really want it to cut. I don't want it to cut everything. So let's go ahead and go to our transform. Let's go to, no, not transform, sorry, cutters. And select our gems, enter. And there we have those, and you can manipulate those however you want. Let's see, let's go over here so I can get a better look. Okay, our bottom, maybe make those a little bit larger there. Yes, something like that. Hit enter. Now what we can do is go to our solids, do our Boolean difference, select all our green, enter, select our cutters, enter, and enter. And now when we hide those, we have the little cutouts for them. And nothing else is cut, right? The only thing you have to do now is just go ahead and join everything together, and you should be good to go. And you've got a nice little, where did my stone go? There we go. A nice little ring out. And this is popcorn. This will sell all day long if you put the right stones in it and everything. So hopefully the video helps you, and if it did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Share the video, of course. Thanks for watching, and good designing.